We are living in a matrix. This is a real-life simulation. That's why there are crazy coincidences. It's a glitch that causes us to lose track of time, or experience deja vu, or notice those same people in the background. You know, when you bump into someone you had just seen somewhere else. That's the matrix. And that was just a conspiracy theory. And so are the rest of the statements that I'll be making. If this video evokes any anxiety or fear at any point, switch it over to a different video immediately. I have a lot of them, and we both want you to feel good. There will be some stroking between conspiracy theories and maybe even during them. But I'm going to start with the shorter, wackier conspiracy theories first, and then I'm going to move into those with more background and depth. Alright? So now, to continue off with the idea of the Matrix, you might be an NPC. The theory is based on the idea that 75% of us could be soulless, non-playable characters. Humankind only has a limited number of souls, and as the population grows, the extra bodies become NPCs, so that there are more people to conform to groupthink trends. Your social security number indicates which bank you were sold to at birth. In 1889, Captain James C. Kerr was among 100 passengers aboard a steamboat who reported seeing a 30 to 40 foot long creature in Flathead Lake, Montana. As of July 2018, there have been 109 sightings of the foreign creature. They say it has humps, steel black keys, and fins. Amelia Earhart was eaten by crabs. When her aircraft disappeared in 1937, she didn't run out of fuel and crash into the ocean, but landed by mistake on a deserted island, where she was eventually consumed by 3-foot-long coconut crabs. Lorde, the singer or musician, is a 40-year-old woman. She supposedly got famous at 16, but she never behaved in the way that typical young people do. So she must not be the age they say she is. She must be 40. Walt Disney used cryogenic technology to freeze himself when he died. So, the Walt Disney Company created the movie Frozen to hack Google's search Some think that the moon isn't even real at all, but merely a projection. Others think it's real, and that the Apollo 17 in 1972 was not the last moon mission, while NASA claimed that the astronauts logged all the research needed. Some think that the mission ended tragically because the astronauts had a run-in with aliens. The Large Hadron Collider was built by the European Organization for Nuclear Research as a Stargate portal to summon Shiva. This is partially based off the fact that there is a statue of Shiva in front of the CERN building. Others believe when CERN, or CERN, discovered the Higgs boson in 2012, they inadvertently created a black hole, and the Earth got sucked into it. The world actually ended in 2012, according to these conspiracy theorists, and we just haven't realized it yet. New unknown findings about the Earth's core, released in 2024, led many to believe that the Earth is hollow. After learning that we don't know much about the surface of the Earth or what exists beneath its layers, some began to believe that there is another Earth inside this Earth. The High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program exists in the mountains of Alaska. It's designed to study the furthest distances of the atmosphere. It sits on 33 acres of land and has over 180 antennas. The antennas collect data on radio waves, atmospheric occurrences, and the aurora borealis, but some believe the antennas are an experimental weapon used for mind control. The facility held an open house in 2016 to demonstrate that they were not doing anything nefarious. A shape-shifting, blood-drinking, humanoid reptile alien species has been ruling the human race since the time of the pharaohs. Many of the most powerful people in human history come from the constellation Draco. This includes the British royal family, most of the American presidents, and notorious Hollywood celebrities. These reptilians feed on human is a symbol for Freemasonry. Some assume that the building is actually used by the Illuminati. The Denver International Airport is a massive transportation hub that cost $2 billion to create and is twice the size of Manhattan, New York. It's also larger than the city boundaries of Boston, Miami, or San Francisco. Some believe it has an underground structure that's used for bunkers or for Illuminati headquarters. Others believe it was built by neo-Nazis because of the markers and plaques around the airport that say it was funded by the New World Airport Commission. No information can be found about the New World Airport Commission anywhere, and there are also very weird murals around the airport. Murals that depict images of a Nazi officer in a gas mask, children near a burning building, and the devil jumping out of a suitcase. And then there's the classic Project Bluebeam. This is a conspiracy theory that originated in the mid-1990s. It claims that there is a secret project created by the agents of the Pentagon and NASA. Their goal: to create an artificial second coming of Christ and establish a totalitarian world government. The theory suggests that the project aims to control the masses through the use of advanced technology and psychological manipulation. Journalist Serge Monast came forward with this information in the 90s. He stated that there was a 4-stage project to build a new world order. This entailed the use of holograms to stage fake cataclysmic events like volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. There would also be a staged fake alien invasion to shatter the public's trust in science. A new celestial order would then be implemented using space weapons and fake astronomical phenomena. Finally, religious symbols would be projected into the sky to trick people into accepting the New World Order. Throughout the process, subliminal messages would be sent through electronic devices, causing people to hallucinate the second coming, so that the world could be united beneath a single leader. It is at the apex of mass hysteria and confusion that one world religion and government will take hold. the sun shone through a narrow hole in the structure, and it illuminated the day's date. The names of 4 ancient languages were inscribed on the sides near the top: Babylonian cuneiform, Classical Greek, Sanskrit, and Egyptian hieroglyphics. Additionally, an instructional tablet at the site described a time capsule buried underneath the surface, though the dates on which the time capsule was buried and when it was to be reopened are missing. Whether this is intentional or the capsule was never buried is unknown. The Guidestones continue to be a point of controversy. Conspiracy theorists and fundamentalists believe them to be the work of Satanists or the New World Order, fueled particularly by certain commandments such as guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity, which can be ominously interpreted, and the Guidestones have been seriously vandalized by such conspiracy theorists. Others believed them to be a message of wise prophecy, possibly the work of an eccentric man of science. Early in the morning of July 6th, 2022, the Guidestones were damaged by an apparent explosion caused by a vandal. The remaining undamaged pieces were donated to the Alberton Granite Association and its museum to be preserved. Mount Rushmore is one of the most recognizable landmarks in the U.S. and depicts the carved faces of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt. Few people know there is a hidden chamber behind Lincoln's head. The sculptor Gutzon Borglum created an 18-foot door behind the landmark that leads to an open room that is 74 feet long and 35 feet high. Borglum intended it to place America's prized possessions in this room. It was supposed to be called the Hall of Records. While the room does contain important historical documents like the U.S. Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, it is now sealed off from the public, leading some to believe that the government is hiding something incredibly secretive there, like proof of extraterrestrial beings. Others believe there are other hidden treasures in the room, an idea that was explored in Nicolas Cage's National Treasure, Book of Secrets. Is the world government using climate change to hide the next ice age? Some believe the government is sending the Earth toward the next ice age in order to gain this special ability. Maybe it just means you are a chosen member of the New World Order. Let me know what you think. I'm so curious what your favorite conspiracy theories are, and more curious about